All right, sketchbook heroes, sketchbook warriors, we're here for training, and we've got some really good training. We're going to talk about warm-ups a little bit. So let me share my screen. Let's jump into it and don't waste any time. It's really about not wasting time. I'm trying to create the fastest way to learn how to draw, and here he goes. It really is getting into practice. Practice. So warm-ups. These warm-ups were submitted, and these are the warm-ups that most people do. And it's finding what you, these are the drawings we're going to do tonight, but I put them in order. We got some warm-ups, and I'll talk a little bit about that. So you can be doing warm-ups at any time. Warm-ups can be from 1 minute to 5 minutes to, and here and there. So the first warm up and focus is just taking action. It really is just taking action. You got to take action. Don't be afraid to take action. Get a scratch. Don't get a fancy sketchbook. Your first sketchbook shouldn't be fancy. You can even use a line paper. What's important is taking action and aiming for purpose, right? What are you aiming for? And the first aim is just taking action. Sometimes we're afraid and we get blocked and we're scared. And that's why you want to be a sketchbook warrior. You want to not be afraid of what other people are going to say, what other people are going to think, because fear is real. Fear is real, and mistakes are real. You will make mistakes. I'm not going to lie. But the thing is, you can learn from your mistakes. You can learn from what you do, and that's the warrior way. It is the warrior way. Practice and pushing through. And knowing what to practice and practicing with purpose really helps, so you don't make as many mistakes, or don't, you really get to what you want to draw and how you want to draw. So here we go, just making marks. That's the first one, and scribbling and having some kind of goal kind of makes it fun, because repetition can be boring, but that's why I'm going to put all these warm-ups together to really help you focus on what you should do until you kind of get tired of it, and then go to the next. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. I don't think we've seen what you want us to see.
No. All right, let's try it one more time. Let me see. Share
It
my
was just your desktop.
yeah. Yeah, here you should be
Yeah, there
seeing.
you go.
All right, cool. Let's go back over here then. I just scribbles and making those marks. Here we go. Thank you for that's why we are live here. Here we go. So we got circles. So start off with, just anywhere, and then we start really getting down to direction. So we will be doing some scribbling. I'll start off with some scribbling, and then we'll do a little bit of all of these together. But I'll make a quick video of each one of these. So 1 to 5 minutes of just doing these warm-ups. Because then from warm-ups, it actually goes to training, to practice, and to actually creating art. So there's actually different levels you can take these practices. And that's all it is just a practice. And that'll be our first drawing of the night. So we do start off simple, and then we go off a little more complex. So let's get started. I'm not going to post anything. And then, then you can get to that. All right, here we go. So let's get started. Here we go. So just simple practice. Do I have, here we go. Yeah, so just making lines and making marks. Sometimes we want to free up and not be afraid to make mistakes. So and just getting started is sometimes the hardest part. So that's why just having a sketchbook where you're just getting started, and even you don't worry about, sometimes you want to have a focus, like here, I'm not going to cross any lines, or sometimes you just scribble and not even worry. You're just here thinking about the making the line, or maybe you're trying to observe something, you're looking at something, and you're not sure quite what it is. And scribbling is a good way to start, because it's scribbling is one step below sketching. So here, okay, here's an ear, here's an eye, here's another eye, and you don't worry about what it looks like. You're just kind of trying to observe what you see. And then before you know it, oh, here's a mouth, and kind of seeing where things are. Okay, and then you start putting maybe a little more detail, 3/4 view, maybe more angles. And you see, even though it started off with scribbles, you can push it and push it. Okay, wait a minute, it should be a little bit more over here, a little more over there. And you're really practicing your drawing, and not really practicing erasing, because you're not really worried, and like, oh, okay, cool. You're really learning to observe and learning to see, and studying and practicing, even if it's just like 1 minute, 5 minutes, and you're just doing your scribbling, and have a page full of scribbles. Maybe even doing shading. So you can actually, even just with scribbles, start getting some shading and thinking about really observing, not being afraid to make mistakes, because that really holds people back. really holds people back, just that fear. And so be a warrior, make those mistakes and learn from them. Really, that's where the learning is. We're afraid to kind of like, oh wow, okay, wait a minute. What if I do too dark? What if it looks this? What if, you live in the land of ifs, and you get the can'ts and the pants too. I can't. And sometimes you'll make those mistakes. But if you study and practice and keep at it, you will get it. You will get it. I mean, I did it. It took me years, but you can do it faster because, hey, I know the shortcuts. The shortcuts is really not being afraid and making those mistakes and having that sketchbook. All right, so we'll break stuff up and having this too, just first one is action, taking action, not being afraid. All right, and the next one, the next little warm up is let's do it with focus. And I'm looking here. Oh, ovals. Why ovals? See, you look at once you get good, you can just do them like nothing. And these ovals, that one's off. But that's okay. It's just practice, right? And you can do this. Takes about a minute or 5 minutes, depends on how long you want to take on it until you kind of get bored. Let's try doing different ovals. Let's try to get even circles. Almost even practicing your circles, right? Practicing your ovals. And do a minute or 5 minutes. Some people can go longer, and you can actually even make this into a piece of art. As if you really, start even doing some shading in there, or even start even using your imagination. That's what these little ovals. Maybe things are coming out of it. Maybe a little beaver or something with a nose, his teeth, and he's got his little hands right in here. I mean, so you practice your ovals, and then you can practice your imagination, because whatever you want to work on, you got to know what you're working on. If you're practicing, drawing from imagination, then you can kind of like here, Groundhog's Day, we had a drawing for Groundhog's Day. And there we go. There it is. And then, you can practice and just do it really quick. Practice really quick. But here we go. This is why an oval is important, because ovals are everywhere, almost everywhere. They're very, because circles are pretty universal. And then you'll start seeing like this cup here. We have some change in it. Cup, it is a circle, but once it turns and changes into an oval, right? You get that top. Hard to see on this one, but it is an oval. And there it is. That's that oval. We can actually make this go for in a cup instead of a hole in the ground, right? Get that oval, and then we got a cup right there. And that's that next form, because we have shape and then form. The next shape is squares. Practice those squares and looking, not just drawing them, but looking for them, seeing the ratios, because okay, where's the square? We talk about ratios a lot. Looking for ratios. Is it twice as long as it is tall? Changing the angles. How can you change these squares, these rectangles? And sometimes just playing with it and just not being afraid to get lost and doing stuff here. And drawing. So just practicing your warm-ups. Even if it's just a minute, just like, okay, I'm going to practice this. I'm going to practice shading. All right. Just for a minute. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. I'm going to practice and that really kind of, we have all these, a lot of the artists from Disney, I hear them say, everybody has about 1,000 bad drawings in them. The challenge is to try to get them out. Because then after squares, then comes cubes and learning how to draw cubes in space. So here's just adding another little square on it. And there's a cube right there. With cubes, and that's the next level is from ovals, we draw cylinders. That's what I was trying to say. And this bottom part right here, you can see that practice pages that we had. And just practice drawing cylinders. I mean, cylinders are everywhere. This cup is a cylinder, right? There's cylinders in this pencil. It's kind of like a cylinder. If I were to do this pencil, here's that oval from earlier. Here's a couple lines. Bringing them in a little bit, adding a little bit of perspective. Then I can add my pencil, a pencil tip. And here we go. This is a basic form. And then you start drawing from memory. You can start drawing from memory because you know these forms. You not only can see them, observe them, and I can see, okay, well, let's get that pencil design onto what I'm trying to draw down here. All right, so these forms, the 5 basic forms are really important. And drawing them, copying them, being able to do that. All right, let's see, what else is there? So yeah, just practice, 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 and you can do this at any time. If I'm going too slow in my lessons, you can practice doing this on another piece of paper. If I go too fast, then go to the videos and slow them down. I know I try to go at different pace, different rates. Sometimes I go fast, sometimes I go slow. But the thing is to find your pace, and then sometimes challenge that pace. I'm like, okay, this is my pace. This is the one I enjoy. But then sometimes you want to go, okay, I'm drawing this. I'm going to spend 20 minutes on this drawing. I'm going to spend 10 minutes on this drawing. I'm going to spend 1 minute on this drawing. Kind of being aware of that, because I know some people that can spend like, I used to spend weeks on drawings. I'm like, oh, okay, but you're not going to get better until you really start challenging yourself. You need to know where you're challenging yourself a little bit. If it's shading, if whatever you're struggling, if it's hands, practice drawing hands and just practice drawing hands till you get them. And it's a little painful. It really is, because you're like, oh gosh, I keep messing them up. I keep messing up drawing hands. So you just really just got to get through that pain, because it gets easier. It does. It does. Your brain will fight you. Your brain will fight you. And it's really the mindset. It's that mindset that is the hardest part. All right, there's the warm up for today. Let's get to our first drawing. Let's go back to our screen. All right, we'll just do yeah, am I sharing? Oh, no, there we go. I thought I was sharing my my screen through this whole process. All right, let me see, make sure I'm on the wrong screen again. Let me see, stop sharing. Here we go. Share one more time. There we go. I I got used to doing my other setup that I had before. So here you go, just really simple scribbles. Even that scribbles, we can actually even take that even further. You can see how I took it to drawing faces, and having fun with it too. You can play games like, okay, I'm gonna do spirals, even with scribbles. How close can I get? Which is a symbol for skills. I use a spiral. There's some ovals. Look at the angles. Look at the axis lines. That's a good thing to draw as well. The thickness of and the thinness of some of these ovals. Practice changing that, and really, shoot for variety, because you'll see yourself maybe getting bored. Try different things with the squares and the rectangles. Try different things, and then pushing it to the next level, which is these cylinders, different angles, different widths. Try to shoot for variety, and practice, just a little bit more than your comfort zone. Try to push it to a little bit past your comfort zone. And then cubes are tough. We should probably get back to that and draw some cubes, a little bit more cubes. We'll do some more cubes after our warm-up, which is this one. I'll try to break that one down, and we'll draw some cubes. All right, just so yeah, it's a good practice. Next level practice. All right, let's break this one down. All right, most drawings, especially with head characters, we see the size of the head. You can see the head. There's a circle there, and then we use that as a unit. Oops, undo. Use that as a unit and copy and paste it and see how it relates to itself. So let's copy that, paste. There we go, one. And animators do this. All kinds of artists do this. They look for the relationships, because relationships is the best way to, well, it's the biggest challenge in drawing, is finding the space. You can see the torso is almost a head space, a little bit more. As I do this, you can see these relationships. And there's 4 heads tall. And this person's going to be 5 heads, about 5 heads tall. There we go, 5 heads. About 5 heads. Yeah, actually, exactly 5 heads. If we move this up a little bit more, let's see, get rid of those spaces. How you doing there? Are you hanging in there? Yes, Father dear. She's such a chip. Let me put you on speaker again. Are you hanging in there?
Yeah, Daddy.
Oh man, you're my angel. All right.
See?
Yes, that's true. All right, so let's look for some more relationships. You can see angles. You can see the angle of this. And again, when you see these lines, I imagine these lines continuing. And I can see like here this, and I can actually even imagine this triangle there. This kind of helps. Seeing the bigger shapes, seeing these angles here too. Ooh, looks like there's it goes to a vanishing point as it goes. You guys need new batteries for your for your smoke alarms. All right, so here we go. Watch, I can hear the beep. And you can see that there it does taper a little bit, that rake. and the hole right there. The feet, the relationship of the feet, one's a little bit lower, one's a little bit higher. You can see that relationship. It's all about these relationships. Even though it's a stick figure, and even though you might not get it perfect, that's okay. It's looking for these relationships and seeing them that will help you improve your drawing. This angle there, that line coming straight down, and that angle coming back. All right, so that's it. Let's do this one. Our first drawing of the night. After our warm-ups, let's put it in the chat. Where is the chit chat? There we go. Feel free to put stuff in the chat if you'd like, if you have questions, or if you don't understand something, or feel free to just speak out like somebody did right now. All right, cool. I'm gonna have to put you on mute your thing again. All right, here we go. I think that's it. Let's get started. All right, again, we start practicing in circles. Even if it's just practice, get some scratch paper. Scratch paper, scratch paper. Look at that. You'll improve. You'll improve in on the back of this one. So we've got some circles. Start off with that circle. There we go, our first circle. See, I scribbled it in. And then I can use that as a guide. I have 5 circles, right? They weren't exactly on top of each other, but this doesn't have to be exact. If I have to get a little bit smaller, I can go a little smaller. I can actually even start planning ahead. Planning ahead. Let's get the head planning ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it'll barely fit to the bottom of my page here. Let's move our camera up a little bit. So I can already see how big it's going to be. If I need to make it a little smaller, I can make it a little smaller and make it fit. But you see, this is where planning is really important, and seeing how it's going to fit. So there's 1, a 2, a 3. How many licks does it take to get to the middle of a Tootsie Roll? So you can actually even use something else here to measure. See, that's our 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, because you'll see artists always kind of like using their fingers, their thumbs, kind of going like this. You can put your finger like this and measure that, and then move it over here, over there. You got to do that. I mean, even when I was, believe it or not, 5 years old, I stood out in the middle of the street, and we didn't have a lot of traffic back in those days. And I drew my parents' house, but I was doing this with the angles, and I don't know where I saw it or how I did it, but I was doing that, and I got to find that drawing because I know that drawing somewhere. I got to scan it and put it up in my collection on my website. All right, so there we go. Look at 5 circles. This will get us going. Let's draw that first head. And let's do that. Let's zoom in. Let's see some ready for my close-up here. I can see that if I break this in half and half again, fourths, I can see that the hair kind of comes in that top fourths, that top fourth. So if this is a half, that's a half. I can see that the hair kind of comes in right there from this middle. See that middle part, and kind of comes in here. And again, drawings are like puzzles. That's what makes them fun. Because like, okay, here's the parts. How does it fit? And once you start seeing that way, you can take on those challenges. Some people don't like puzzles because they can be frustrating, but very exhilarating, very fun. Once you understand, like, oh, okay, this is how I do it. And then you just do it. Here we go. Let's see, this hair should actually be coming down. Trying to see the center. Yeah, it's a little off center, but it's going into the circle. Oh, it's because I think this circle is off. No, we'll just do it for fun. I'm trying to get the proportions right and stuff. Here we go. This hair kind of curves up and down. There's a lot to it. And then it goes around the circle here. Our big circle actually goes in and then up and around. All right, so it's off a little bit, but it's not full of off, because then it would be off full. But it's okay to be off a little bit. It's not a big deal. Some people, unless you need it to be exact, especially with faces and stuff, perfection can be a killer. It can stop you, because then you get paralysis from perfection. Let's not try not to let that happen. Just sometimes you got to be free, scribble, get those mistakes out. There's perfection. What is that? It only comes with practice. And it's not even perfect. It's just progress. You want to shoot for progress. We have our head. Let's shoot for the eye. The eye goes in here just like a little sleepy eye, really simple, cute. Even if this is the kind of drawings you do, that's great. Notice the thickness of these lines. These lines are actually pretty thick. What else? Oh yeah, the head comes here and then it curves out. So Watch this, it curves out into that set third circle, then it goes out and around down to this other circle here. Let's, ooh, do I have enough space? Am I zoomed out? Oh yeah, here we go. There we go. So watch how it all connects now. I've got my head there, and then right, I would say a little bit to the left of the middle for some reason. It kind of goes in through that second circle, goes around here, and I maybe pushed it a little far and into that third circle. And then it comes down to that fourth circle, and then down here, that foot down here. So try to get this flowing line. Even it's almost a gestural line. Get it to flow. Or if we have to fix it, there it's fixing it. There's a lot of scribbles. That's okay. This is a scribble before a sketch. That's the next one. All right, here we go. Up in here. Up in here. All right. I'm about to. Here we go. So then the waist starts right underneath that second circle, right in here. You have that waist that's down here. And this is the thighs. Kind of interesting. Comes out actually outside that circle. It's about a head width right in there, a little bit more, right in there, and then it comes in together. Hey, and Francois, I saw you for a second.
Hi, Eladio. Hi. Um, Good to be here. I'm
Great.
not sure. I am seeing you as a main screen.
Oh
I mean,
no, I see it too. I see what
yeah,
you're doing.
thank you.
Thank you. You said put in the chat things we don't understand. I don't understand quantum mechanics or quantum gravity for that matter. I don't understand quantum anything. Let me quantify that for you. Yeah, that's
Well, you were a science teacher, am I right?
I taught all kinds of stuff. I have a master's in science, technology, engineering, math, and yeah, I do have that. But so I did sprinkle science and math and engineering and technology into what I did. So yeah, a little bit. I follow all that stuff. Quantum computing is the next thing. Wait till that meets AI. That's going to be people. What AI now? Everybody's talking about AI, and I've been following AI for quite a while, and stuff like that. But yeah, quantum mechanics and quantum leap. All right, so let's back to the quantum thighs here. So yeah, if you don't understand what we're doing about drawing, we can, I don't know, quantum interesting. We can go off topic, but the quantum leap here. So there's an angle here at the bottom, Alan. One leg is a little bit lower and one's a little bit higher. It's learning to see these relationships and learning to see how all this stuff fits. All right, here we go. And it's a simple kind of shape here. Does it go out and in? Let me see. Yeah, I'm trying to see that shape here. How off I am. And then it just goes up these pant legs. One there and then one down here. Here we go. And there's that's it. There we go. The biggest thing is getting one a little bit higher, one a little bit lower. Because with these feet, she's actually facing almost like a 3/4 view. Even though it's a simple simple ankle and a simple foot. And here, see, there's a little backwards L. And then this one a little bit lower. And just that little bit makes a difference. This placement and seeing these two together and puts it on a plane. I can actually connect these and it looks like a plane. It would be if even she's standing on a box. See, I can actually do that same angle, that slight angle, and make her that angle and a little bit, make it a vanishing point. You see, there she is on a box. And we're going to get to boxes. We talked about boxes, and there it is. She's on a box, on her little soapbox. But let's focus. All right. So she's got some arms. She's got some. I would probably draw the and see, this is a triangle now. I can see that this here comes down at this angle here. And that whole big triangle here that we have the hoe, and we've got the rake, and we got, let's see, and see the space in here. See the space and how far it is from her head. I know the top of the rake was probably right about there. I look at the distance Because again, spacing is the hardest when you're first learning to draw. See that negative space, what's not there is as important as what is there. And we've got the top of the rake, and I remember seeing, oh, I don't know, I do have it. I'm drawing from the there we go. I'm looking at the example I did. So the example, I can see this line, and this is where it helps because it goes right under the eye, and then it goes on at this angle. See, like that angle. This really helps get this angle right. Oh. So we look at ratios. We wrap to draw, RAPP, R8 to the double P. Ratios, the height and the width of anything. We usually look for ones and ones, the ratio. Then we look for angles. Here's another angle. I wonder what the ratio is on the top of the rake. That would help. And this goes really far before they two touch, but there is a little bit of a taper. So you got ratios, angles, proportions, practice, placement, patience. All right, let's take a look. So I have kind of my angles of the top and the bottom of that. And I have, let me see, I would have, let me see, try to see the distance and the angle, probably a little bit more like that. And if I were to see this continue, this one is a little bit lower than this one. As far as the rake is a little bit lower. See, and I'm sketching it until I get it right. The hole is, I can actually even draw a circle for the hole just to get the, and if she falls, it would be a hoe down. No, I'm just kidding. Here's a hole right here. She drops it. Okay. Oh, that was terrible. All right. All right, here we go. Oh God, I'm feeling silly tonight. It's not, and it's early. It's our first drawing of the night. I usually get like this at the end. All right, here we go. No, actually, it's been a good day. It's a beautiful day, actually. We've had a lot of wind clearing up all the smoggy stuff in LA here. All right, so I'm looking at the ratio here. I'm looking at the height compared to the width, and I'm just kind of seeing it. It looks like it's probably three. If I look at here, it's about 3 times as wide as it is tall, I would assume. I can measure that. I can doesn't. That's what I'm seeing. It's not exact because it does taper, so that gets a little more confusing. But that's what I feel is right. And here's the middle line. I'll keep that there at this angle, and I'm seeing the spacing. I kind of like it, so I'm just gonna keep that. Okay, there's my rake. There's my rake. I'm gonna rake you across the coals. A little bit of rake. And there's a little bit of a curve here too. It's not quite a square rectangle. There's curving. There's a little bit of curving. So this is the advanced stuff that the artist did with a stick figure. And oh yeah, belief system. This is the biggest things that stop you from drawing. Is if you believe you can't draw. I can't draw. I can't draw. You'll hear this. People say this all the time. I mean, I've heard it. Hear it. I can't even draw a stick figure. Well, I can't even draw a straight line. I can't. You got the can'ts in the pants. You can't until you practice. You know, you got to practice. If you can't draw a stick figure, then you know what the problem is. Address the problem. Half the battle is knowing what the problem is. And if you know what the problem is, maybe the problem is you don't want to draw. That's fine. You know, don't want to draw stick figures. All right, that's fine. But if it is, you want to draw you want to learn how to draw, but you can't draw stick figures, there's the problem. And what's the solution is to draw them till you get them. All right. Whatever you're struggling with, that's right there. That's where you need to start. Don't enter that your uncomfort zone. Like, okay, I need to practice drawing hands, even if it's stick hands, like right this. See, just that hand comes around right in there. All righty. Let's see. Is there anything else in the
I'm
chat?
struggling with something. I have the cants about.
Yeah, what do you have? What do you canting?
Empirical and historical evidence has indicated that I cannot win the lottery.
Ah, well, that's well, you need to study probability and statistics. Yeah, well, it is definitely yeah, because you know the odds.
I do know the odds.
That's the thing. Yeah, your odds are better at learning to draw. Keeping at it. Yeah, that's the thing, and it comes down to odds, knowing the odds, knowing the light, it's and doing the best you can with what you're, I don't know, with what you're dealt. you know, the hand you're dealt with. Sometimes we don't maximize what we have. All right, we realize actually, I don't know, I heard this one saying we're all born on fields of diamonds, and it's knowing that they're there. It's just knowing to where to look and recognizing that, because yeah, field of diamonds. All right, here we go. Now this arm here, this arm I know goes here, and I see there's two angles. I can see that the elbow is right about there. Getting me off topic, but these are good things because really the mindset is really, I mean, will mess with you as far as when you're learning to draw. It's like, you know, getting past the can'ts and the pants. You know, all right, here we go. These angles, it's all the same thing. I say the same thing all the time. And you're like, oh, okay, you start seeing it. Oh, there's the angles, there's the spacing, there's this, there's that. And you'll see your drawings improve. Oh, drawing blocks. That's what we're gonna do next. Let's get this. The last thing is this, the hoe up here. I can see it. It's gonna fit in that space, but it's all just angles. It's all just angles. So I have a little angle here. It's and the other angle, slight angle. See on this side. This one's almost, I would say it's vertical, straight up and down angle. This one has a slight taper to the left, right, I don't know, depending on where you start and stop. And then this one goes up, and then this one goes down. It's a little steeper angle. But you see, I'm seeing my angles and I'm seeing it how it fits in there. And there you go. That's the battle. That's one of the battles. You'll see you having the same things. If you're just focusing on ratios, you get it, practice it till you get it, till it becomes a competence, unconscious competence, where you don't think about it, you just do it. You just do it. It looks like magic. It's unconscious competence, because it starts off with conscious incompetence. You know you don't know. Haven't talked about this in a long time. You know you don't. It starts off with conscious incompetence, because you know you don't know, right? And if you know you don't know, a lot of people stop there. So what do? You start asking questions to get to the next level. So you know you don't know. Conscious, oh, that's, and then because conscious competence. Okay, so drawing cubes. I always look for the Y. The Y here. The Y is the closest part to us, and it's getting those three angles on a cube.
What about the chick's other arm?
Oh, the other arm. You're right. I'm jumping ahead. Here we go. The last thing here. Yeah, the other arm. So I can see where it is here. I'm looking at the destination, final destination right here. Then I can see it bend in and then out right in here, how it fits in there. Right. So that's thank you for pointing that out. There we go. I just wanted to leave the arm alone, and I can see it and draw it. Thank you so much. There we go. There's that other arm. So back to our Y. Drawing with a purpose, drawing with the Y. Here's you can draw at the Y. There's a lot of people there. Draw people. All right, so here we go. Here's our Y. In these angles, this one's always usually pretty vertical, unless it's sometimes you want to taper it. It depends, but these lines are pretty vertical. The ones that are going up and down all the time. If you want to make it look like it's like huge and gigantic, you can taper them. And then you have these going back, and these also taper back as well, but they're kind of going in that same direction. This is when you start getting into perspective. You start playing with the angles just slightly and understanding that these lines actually meet at a distance with perspective. And to get a good feel of these, it does take some practice. Seeing, okay, it's going to continue all the way up that way. It's going to continue all that way. And that's another warm-up we didn't really talk about, is drawing lines. You know, getting these lines and controlling lines. You can even do 2 dots and try to get it go from one to another, just kind of like that. Do 2 dots and just try to aim from one to the other, or just, you know, or even inside space, and just a little bit of practice, a little bit of warm up, you know, a little training, a little exercise. You can see the consistency of that takes some practice, and it's painful. It can be, actually. It can be. I just remember like calligraphy and practicing your ABCs and practicing. It's just very repetitive. It's very you know, but if you can, like, okay, I'm gonna try to just try and keep it short and simple, like, all right,
You
cool.
froze, Eladio.
Huh? I froze. Am I still frozen? It's the quantum. Entered the quantum realm. All right, so yeah, draw cubes. Let's draw some more cubes. Am I still frozen? Oh,
You're fine now.
No, you're good.
Oh, good, thanks. All right, here we go. Yeah, so drawing cubes again, and once you have that Y, then you can start changing the angles. Start changing these angles. So look, you can see this angle kind of going up. And here we go. There's this angle. I'm keeping this vertical, but then I can also change these angles. So that's the whole thing here with drawing with cubes. Now you're just playing with the angles, the A in wrap. Wrap to draw, you're just playing with the angles. This is why angles are so important, because you're learning to see them, learning to see how they go together. Wrap to draw. Look at this cube now. I can actually make it look like it's bending, going forward a little bit more, moving back in space, changing. And I can, this is a basic form. It's like one of the most important basic forms here, because then I can make this into anything else. Somebody throw something out there. What can we draw? Make this into something.
Old school radio.
A what radio?
Like
Old-
those old school radios, Those you see people carrying on their shoulders.
Oh, the boombox. Boombox radio.
Boombox. Yeah.
Yeah, the old school radio. Okay, so that the ratio would have to change. This could be like the big old speakers here, see, big old speaker, and then I would have to make it a little bit longer because those big boom boxes were pretty big. And yeah, I had mine wasn't this big. Oh man, that takes me back to the 80s. And and what was that also? We also had the big old boom boxes they would have on their shoulders. I remember seeing that, and they'd have maybe even a handle up here. But yeah, you can do that. Let's see. I'm gonna have to go over my drawing because didn't have enough space. Checking that as angles. And you'd always have your cassette player. Sometimes it was a double cassette or whatever it is, and you can just start. But you see, I'm doing it in the same angles. This angle's how it fits in here. Up in here would be the top. These angles kind of going back there. If I have the handles on it, get a handle of this big old boom box. Same angle coming down. Yeah, big old boom box. The speakers and the tweeters and then maybe the little play button or who knows what it was, and maybe a radio station up here. Oh yeah. What is that? Breakdancing. I was watching something on yeah, they were, I don't know, my friend had something with NWA and how Dr. Dre got started and how they had the whole thing with the beats. Yeah, that was interesting. There we go. There's a whole boombox. All right, for those of you who were back in the day, in the 80s, big old boombox. All right, that's it. All right. Let's get going to thank you, like, subscribe, and oh.